Paperwork signed. It's a deal.
We finally did it! Hey, we're Dedra and Garron, and we just bought a van to start traveling full-time with our two dogs, Bella and Maya. Our goal is to live a happy and fulfilling life while inspiring others to do the same. Whether it's backcountry hiking with friends or having dance parties in our car, we are always in the pursuit of happiness.
In these crazy times of COVID, we've decided to do something we've never done before and convert a van into a tiny home on wheels with no experience at all. And today, we're going to show you our new van, give it a review, and tell you why we chose the van we did. Hope you enjoy.
So we just stopped, got some Starbucks.
Yeah.
We're about 10 minutes out from Surrey and we're going to get our first van from Hallmark Ford. It's doing a finance takeover, which is exciting. So it's gonna be a blank slate and we're gonna build it out ourselves. And we're almost there.
Woohoo!
I think the thing I'm most excited for with van life is becoming Instagram famous and then having someone come up to me and going, "Oh my God, is that you, Bob and Sarah?" That will be the moment I know I've made it.
We're not Bob and Sarah.
Close enough, you know? First mix up. Works for me. How you feeling? We're at the Ford dealership.
It's scary.
Are you ready for this?
No. Well, yes, but like kind of no at the same time.
How you feeling about the whole build process ahead?
I'm a little bit nervous. I don't have any sort of skills for anything, so it'll be a learning.
You're
learning
telling
process.
me you don't have years and years of construction experience.
No.
Look at those calloused hands. Look at those calloused
That's from
hands.
CrossFit.
All right, so paperwork signed. It's a deal.
We finally did it!
Finally pulled the trigger and bought one. All right, so we went with a 2020 Ford Transit. It's a 148 wheelbase with the extended back and the high roof. We also went with the premium entertainment system. So this has the Apple CarPlay and it syncs with your phone. You can choose all your apps here. You can add a device, find mobile apps. My phone's not connected yet because we just got it, but it's a super premium infotainment system. We've got all the basics: cooling, heating, the fan, the automatic drive. It's also got a slap shift so you can control the gears on the side. Got all the options here on the steering wheel, and we've got a really premium dash that tells me we get roughly right now 15.2 liters per 100 kilometers. We've got a bunch of cup holders here. We've got extra cup holders on the sides to put extra things there. We've got some up on the dash here with an integrated, got the 12 volt and a USB charger up top. So that'll be great for our phones and laptops and things when we're parked or driving. Yeah, other than that, super comfy cloth seats. Right now there's no swivels, but they go forward and back just by manual. We've got the elbow rest for long drives, so you can look cool and drive down the highway. And we're really excited for it. We've got a lot of work to do, and this is where it begins.
Okay, so let me show you the back. All right, there's this partition wall. We're definitely gonna take that out because we'll have a little bit more space this way for our bench seating and our kitchen setup, which would be really nice. Oh, the lights are...
Let me see if I can turn
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so when you come into the back, it's all open right now, but what we kind of envision is some bench seating sort of right here, right behind the driver's seat, followed by a closet sort of where we're going to put our jackets and kind of toiletries and things like that, followed by the bed in the back here. We'll probably custom it a little bit to kind of be just a bit over a twin, and then we'll have, of course, cupboards kind of on the tops, and then we'll have our kitchen set up right here, which is going to be so exciting, and we're really happy about it.
All right, so we're gonna go for a test drive, give you a little bit of a review of how it handles, and yeah, first thoughts on the vehicle. We're just cruising down a road here up by Nanaimo, British Columbia, and it drives incredibly smooth. The first thing I noticed about the van is that you don't really feel like you're driving a van. It kind of feels like you're driving like a mid-sized SUV. The handling is incredible. The feel of how it is when you're holding the steering wheel and where it sits you and how you're postured is incredibly nice for a cargo van. Pulling onto the highway and we're going to do a power test. So this one has the 3.6 liter Eco Boost. Let's give it a go. Holy guacamole. It's much more power than any van should probably have. It almost feels like you're in a sports car in a cargo van. I don't know, it's strange. I really like it, and I'm definitely going to have no issues getting up to speed when we're traveling.
So one thing I love about the interior is that it's really wide, so it gives us that space that we need because I don't want to be by him all the time. I'm just kidding. And then it's really comfy. The seats are super comfy, super big. It's got this nice little armrest, which is like super easy to move around. And excess space as well that we could put like our masks in, our phone, like drinking options on both the middle and the ends over here. What I also notice is the spacious leg room. I've got really long legs, so this is super nice that I can hardly even touch the ground. And it provides a lot of space for the dogs.
One thing I'm noticing as we're cruising down the road here is definitely still a lot of power. Really comfortable at cruising speeds. However, when we hit about the 100 kilometer an hour mark, which is roughly, I think, 60 miles an hour here in the States, it's you definitely feel the wind a bit more in the vehicle than you would in a normal vehicle, which makes sense because it is a Ford Transit. It's the extended length and the high roof, so it's almost like a sheet of plywood flying down the highway. It's not terrible, and I think when we get some weight in the back, that'll make a big difference as well. It'll help keep it a little more stable.
So number one reason why I want the Transit is because we're able to buy it from a dealership and it was a little bit less expensive, and we were able to get the warranty on top of it, a 5-year warranty. So if anything were to happen, it was to break down, then we could find a dealership and it would be paid for, which is really important to us.
And although, you know, there's cheaper options going with used, it's one of the cheaper options in comparison to, let's say, a Sprinter. Like a brand new Sprinter is going to cost you somewhere between 60,000 Canadian to 80,000 or up. The Ford Transit, we were able to get it at just about the $50,000 mark, and that was nearly brand new. It only had 8,000 kilometers on it, and it had all of the upgraded options in the interiors,
which is really good because like that's the model alone, and then plus you have to think of like the conversion and getting all the material on top of that. So the 50,000 kind of mark was definitely a little bit in more of our range to be able to pay for something like this.
And we also wanted to take into account that if we bought a used vehicle for even, let's say, 20 to 30,000, we looked into vehicle loans and it was hard to get one that was that large for an old model in that price range. So by going new, we were able to actually finance it and make monthly payments on it over the course of 4 to 5 years. So it actually became more affordable, and it left us with more money in the bank so that we could actually pay for the conversion.
Number 2. Can I say number 2? And then you go. Number 2.
The second reason we wanted a Ford Transit was the option for a gasoline motor. We know diesel is the most popular probably in the community, especially because that's what Sprinters run on.
Yeah.
But with a gasoline motor, there's a few reasons we preferred that. And the first is that it's less expensive to fix, and there's many more mechanics throughout North America who can actually fix it for us. Essentially what that means is if we break down on the road, we're going to be able to find somebody to fix it a lot easier, and we're going to be able to get up and running quicker. And one of the big things too is Mercedes, you have to go to a Mercedes dealer specifically, which means sometimes they're far and few between. And then you also have to sometimes wait for parts because they have to be ordered in from, I believe it's Germany where they're made, or somewhere in Europe there.
Some horror stories of people who like just bought a Sprinter. They had to like tow their vehicle to find a Mercedes dealership, and it was just chaos. So,
and they spent 3 weeks waiting for the part, and now their home is now in the mechanic shop. So now they're footing a bill for hotels on top of that, and that gets expensive as well. And when it gets there, they have to wait for the mechanic to fix it. So it becomes quite the process if you do have a breakdown. In addition, I also am familiar working on gasoline vehicles. I had an old Ford truck and I did a lot of the work myself. So I'm more comfortable understanding, when something goes wrong, what to look for and how to diagnose it. I'm not a mechanic by any means. There's a lot of stuff on the internet you can use to find resources and figure out what's going wrong. Reason number 3 is the body style. So we went with a 148-inch wheelbase with the high roof end extended.
Yes, the Ford Transit 350 to be exact.
And so the high roof, this is the tallest vehicle of the Promaster and the Sprinter, which means we have the most headroom. I'm only about 5'10" and a half, 5'11" if I'm debating with friends. It's kind of important that I have headroom. I'm not overly tall, but I have been in some Sprinters before, and once you add in the subfloor and the roof, you're losing 3 to 4 inches roughly on each side, so it ends up condensing. Whereas with the high roof, when we add the ceiling and the floor, we're still going to feel like we have ample amounts of room above our head.
Yeah, and what's super nice, it's the 148 extended, so it's similar to the Sprinter 170 non-extended, so it's got a lot of space as well to work with when we start converting.
Yeah, the cargo space when we looked up the specs is only about 6 to 8 inches shorter, which is about half a foot than the Sprinter 170. So we had a Sprinter 158 wheelbase before extended, so it's pretty comparable. We do notice it's slightly shorter,
a little bit shorter, yeah,
but that was something we were willing to compromise on because it's a little bit easier to drive in town, which Dedra isn't super familiar driving big vehicles, and we wanted something that she'd be able to navigate.
And also, if you're going grocery shopping, you could park a little bit easier instead of a Sprinter or a Promaster. It might take up a little bit more, so you'd have to take up 2 parking spots instead of 1. Those are just little things, but
yeah, it's just easier to park. And we plan to explore a lot of cities in the States and kind of go for dinner. Spending time in the city was something we had to take into account when choosing a vehicle. So one of the other things about the body too is the shape. So a lot of people choose a Promaster because it's more boxy than a Sprinter, and a Transit is kind of right in between the two. It's not a perfect box, but it's more square. You don't get the rounded edges around the top kind of up there that you see, which means as we're doing our build, it's actually going to be easier to do carpentry, which is super important because
we're newbies.
We don't know anything, and that's part of our journey. We're going to figure it out, but the less hurdles we have to jump over, the better.
And what's nice too is the Transit is a super nice, sleeky looking model. Yeah, everyone thinks the Sprinter is a bee's knees and like
it is. It's a beautiful ride.
It's beautiful, but Transit is just as nice, So and less expensive, which is good.
A bonus. So, and we really like it when you see the videos. We were able to get a chrome grille on it. We were able to get some really nice fog lights and accents, and still come in at that lower price point.
And the backup camera too, on top of that, which is
important when you're driving a vehicle this big and trying not to hit stuff. So, what else? What else?
Reason number 4.
We both really like Ford in general. We've had a Ford Focus in the past.
A Ford Dodge Journey.
I just explained to her that a Ford Dodge Journey is a Dodge Journey.
I don't know vehicles, okay?
We like the look of Ford a lot, and also in terms of handling, the Ford Transit is a great vehicle. Like I was mentioning earlier, the suspension feels great, it rides great, it's got a ton of power. We're able to get the EcoBoost motor option, which for us was important because we plan to do a lot of mountain traveling. So having that extra pep in its step, as we're going through mountains and up hills, was important. In the vehicle we had before, it was a diesel, so it chugs its way up the hill no problem, but it's a little bit slower, and sometimes you're holding up traffic if it's a really big mountain. So with this, we're hopeful that it should have nothing but power to get us going, and it makes merging with traffic easier, and so just a lot of benefits of why we went with Ford.
5th and final reason that we wanted to go with the Ford Transit is the fact that everyone has a Promaster or a Mercedes Dodge Sprinter, and we just kind of wanted to like go a different route and kind of put a little bit of our own kind of spice to it, and hopefully eventually if people decide to go with the Transit, create like a guide that will help them with the conversion as well, because we have zero experience. So that was something that we really wanted to do, was kind of like pick the Transit, get a really nice conversion going, and then like make it a little bit easier for people who are beginners just like us.
When we were looking for guides and stuff, there's lots of great ones out there for sprinters for sure. There's not a ton for Ford Transits yet, so it kind of is an opportunity for us to fill a void and help people with potentially a conversion guide. We've definitely found some great resources like Far Out Ride. They're excellent and they have the same style of vehicle, but because there's not many options, you're kind of stuck in terms of exact guides to the one or two that we were able to find. And so if we make a third one with a bit of a different look, we're just helping provide more options to people. So,
totally.
And you know, we're planning to do van meetups, so we want to look a little different, put a little bit of spice on it. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be different and unique in 2021?
Yeah.
So
Into my YouTube channel.
thanks so much for checking everything out.
Click subscribe right now.
It's our first
Comment,
video,
like.
lots of content coming. There's going to be lots of interesting content as we do the conversion. We would love if anyone's carpenters or electricians or
we need
have
help.
done a guide. You know, we're open to all advice and we'd love to make this a journey for everyone. Follow us, let us know what you think.
I think, what do you say? You hit subscribe.
Hit subscribe, follow us. I think that's what the cool YouTubers say
what
these
the cool
days. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy our content and follow the journey.
And remember, good vibes only in the comment section. We don't hate, appreciate, okay? We don't like hate, only good vibes.